Yeah, oops, you caught me. So I have a little update from a story late last year, around Christmas, actually. You guys may recall there was a drag queen Christmas tour that my organization, Defend Our Kids Texas, exposed. We had multiple stops that we went to, got footage with the help of independent reporter Taylor Hansen and myself, went into the Lion's Den and got this disgusting footage. That was the one where the big silicone breasts were displayed and, there were multiple children in attendance. There was simulated sex. They reinvented Christmas songs that were geared towards children, like Screwed Off the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And I mean, it was really grotesque stuff taking place all across the nation, all across the country. Well, it was brought to our attention that this year, since the backlash was so strong and so swift, the same exact drag queen Christmas tour will still be touring the country, but it will be 18 and up for every single stop. So I just want to remind everyone, pushback works. Public pressure works. Keep using it to our advantage. I'd like to throw in another story here for you guys to give your thoughts on. Major League Baseball has quietly ordered all of its teams to stop wearing Pride jerseys throughout all of the Pride events, Pride Month, because they have faced such backlash from their consumers, as well as Starbucks. The Starbucks Worker Union is claiming that dozens of stores are not allowed to decorate for Pride Month now. Corporate is saying, no, just don't tell anyone that. That's not true. But that's what the Workers Union is saying. And here is a video taken by an employee posted to the Starbucks Workers Union TikTok page showing employees having to take down the Pride decorations. They also said baristas in at least 22 states have reported this. So, look, do you think that Starbucks is not still woke as hell? Of course they are, but it's all about the bottom dollar. And if that is in jeopardy, they are going to have to change their philosophy. And we're seeing that here with big wins with Jason's Bud Light that happened to be in the building are you sure you don't
screen capture this, guys?
No!
This everywhere.
No! Don't you dare!
I'm surprised you're even seen with that thing. It's dangerous.
I know, and I did say, I was like, well, okay, since it's in the building, I'll use it, but I am going to clarify to people.
Who in the building brought it into the building?
I think it was Alex Stein.
He's always the best to blame on these things, for sure.
But I think they did it to like destroy them. Yeah. So, which still I would not have personally done. But I was like, all right, since it's in the building, I'll tell people it was in the building. Because I have to make a gay joke with Jason. I can't not. You give me a gay joke on the table to do to Jason, I'm gonna do it. Okay. Use it. But in all seriousness, I mean, these are big wins that I feel like cannot be, again, I used this term earlier for the other story, but it cannot be overstated how important it is for conservatives to not lose sight of the fact that you have to stay active and you have to keep pushing back and you have to show with your dollars that you're done. You're done with this crap.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's a backwards way of thinking for conservatives.
Yeah.
Yes. Normally, we have not engaged in this type of warfare.
And we say, we don't do boycotts. Okay, call it voting with your dollars. I don't care what you call it. Just do it.
Yeah. Just do it, right? And it's clearly working. We've had humongous wins. Yeah. Not even just this, but over the past, like with your organizations like yours. And,
Target.
People like James Lindsay. And the Target thing still kind of pisses me off because I'll drive by it and I'll still see the parking lots full. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but women, you're kind of screwing us on this. You've got to come harder.
They really are.
Yeah.
Wait, did you just say you... Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Just go fast.
Just go.
Phrasing. Phrasing.
But like MLB, that's significant to me because these are organizations that have been deemed too big to care about what you think. They think they can do no wrong and they can drive culture. I don't think you mentioned some of these woke companies, like you said, Starbucks. I don't even think Starbucks is woke. I think that there's a few activists that are actually truly considered woke.
Yeah.
And they've been able to push finance, push the wins in a certain direction to where they've been making a whole lot of money on appealing to this demographic and then pushing it so hard and making it seem like such a big deal. But I don't think your rank and file members that are, sitting around a board table at Starbucks, I don't think they're woke.
You mean you don't think the executives?
No. Well, I'm sure there might be a couple or something, but I think by and large, it's just a con. That's really all it is. They've been making money off this, and they think that they can continue to push it because they think it's making them money. But the moment they see that, oh crap, we're going to lose some dollars off of this, and that's driven by you because you're willing to stand up, then you're starting to see, I bet you all these Starbucks places are probably in more reddish areas that are doing this because people are just not going into their stores when they walk in and see the flag.
It's funny, Yaku, to Jason's point, I remember when we talked about on the program, Coca-Cola had taken this big ESG stance of like, we're only going to work with firms that have diversity and inclusion guidelines, and they have to be 50% black and all of these. And I went to the Coca-Cola website and I looked up the executives, and they were literally all old white men. It was all old white men. And I'm like, you guys don't believe any of this stuff. You're just saying it.
Absolutely. And they're driven from elements, like for instance, Starbucks. The reason the workers' union, the Starbucks union, I have a friend who owns a coffee chain, and they tried to unionize his chain, but they were only able to unionize one store in Seattle, right? They have a lot of power. They push from the inside. The unions push. And then look, the villain to blame that I always like to blame is BlackRock. If you look at BlackRock's holdings and a lot of these corporations that are pushing this, BlackRock as an outside entity, they always take board seats, but they push on the executives as well. So I agree with you. The executives themselves, the C-suite, CEO, COO, unless you're Bob Iger or those guys, right? But for the most part, they don't believe this stuff. They don't. It's a union or a majority shareholder or BlackRock or someone on the outside. And the irony is, even at BlackRock, the CEO is white. These are Caucasian guys that play to the ESG game, the DEI game. It's exciting to see, though. It's big victories. I still ask you, just don't go to Starbucks. Just keep pushing.
Yeah, keep pushing. Hold the line.
Pushing.
Yes.
Oh, they took the flag down. Let's go.
Yes.
Here's what needs to happen. If I could wink, wink, say, it's time to put the crazy back in the bottle. And that's what's happening, right? So even if they still believe this stuff, stop flaunting it in our faces.
Right.
Stop flaunting your sexual preferences in our faces.
Right.
And at the least that happens. And now, Sara, to close, it needs to start happening in schools with the parents. Absolutely not just saying, well, the books are gone. It's now the way of thinking. The type of teacher needs to go.
The teachers,
You now need to rid the bad apples from the presence of our kids.
I totally agree. Last word, Jason.
We've got, you mentioned BlackRock. We've got video that I've shown before on Glenn's show of Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, talking specifically what he does to these companies. And he said in a public forum, I think it was with the New York Times, that they force behavior. So they'll go into these boardrooms, and what they do is they buy up millions and millions of dollars worth of shares. They have tons of voting stock, and they'll tell these board members, you will, obey, you will comply, or you're not getting that raise, you're not getting that raise, you're not getting that bonus, all these other things, or we might just force you out altogether. That's how they do this. They think that they are more powerful, they have more sway over these companies, but the reality is you have that power. Because if you're not buying it all together, they don't have a company. So show them that you have the power, not woke, investment firms like BlackRock.
Yeah, I totally agree.
If you like that clip, there is plenty more where that came from. Click the link in the description below to subscribe to the News and Why It Matters YouTube channel to watch the full episode.